Hey everybody, what's going on? This episode is about communicating with galleries. And before we dive in, I just want to say hi to my co-host here, Patrick from Always Art. Pat, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really well.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. How's your day so far? Is it the best day of your life?
It is wonderful.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Clean Break, a podcast dealing with art and business, powered by Always Art. I'm your host, Matt Gondek.
I just had some core holes drilled in my backyard for a landslide, so super exciting.
That sounds, I don't know what that is, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. Looks like I have it looks like I have an oil rig in my backyard.
That'd be great if you had oil. You wouldn't have to do this. We would just stop this. I would come over. Everybody listening, as you grow your visibility as an artist, and, as you get bigger, as your reputation grows, as your collector base grows, it's really important to communicate professionally and correctly, just because it helps you develop strong relationships with the galleries, with the dealers, with the collectors. So today's episode is just about that and a few ways, to just elevate your communication. And hopefully you speak much better than I am right now. When you're speaking to a dealer or a gallery, they play an important part in building your career and getting your artwork shown to people, getting it sold. So yeah, let's just go over this stuff, Patrick. So we have a little list here of just different things to talk about. And what's the first topic here?
I think it's just, how do you kind of reach out and research a gallery? I think that's kind of where it starts.
How do you research a gallery? So, I guess this is different for everybody. Maybe you're trying to figure out the galleries local to you, or you're trying to find galleries that show the type of work that you're into, the kind of work that you make. So how do you do that? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, sure. I think that most artists, as they're getting started, they're kind of fans of art or other artists themselves, especially kind of when you're emerging. Mm-hmm. And as you do that, I think you're narrowing in and finding the galleries that you think are fits for you. You're going to want to find artists that have similar styles, that are hopefully closer to you, so you can go to some of their events, build relationships. And I guess in general, make sure that whatever you're painting fits with what they're selling.
Totally. Yeah, unless you live in a very small town and there's not a lot of options. I mean, it's obviously better if the type of work you make is what the gallery shows. But I think some people, Pat, can't do that. I mean, where I'm from, there was not a lot of galleries. So I guess it all just depends. Everyone is different for everybody.
It does. And then maybe you're reaching out to a bigger city. The other thing that I personally am a fan of and is maybe don't reach out to the exact galleries that are perfect for you, but you could be an edge fit for, because it lets you practice, right? And a lot of people, that early outreach and those first few conversations are intimidating for the person doing the outreach. The galleries, they get approached all the time, so they're kind of really comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. The other thing I kind of want to stress is, don't sweat it too much. Don't go in there and be overly confident, but also don't be meek. Just realize this is, this should be a fun piece of the process, and they're there to run a business. And if you try it in low risk situations and you go into it with the attitude that you're going to learn, I think you're going to get a lot more out of it. And when the stakes are higher, you'll be prepared.
Yeah. It's easier said than done. I mean, I remember when I was starting out, I was very meek and unsure of myself. And I've noticed this as I've gotten older. And, sometimes I will speak to younger artists just about their work, or when I hire designers, they're just so unsure of themselves, and they speak about their work almost in questions. I'll say something like, well, what do you do? And they're like, well, I don't really know what I do. Or, I kind of make motorcycle t-shirts, or whatever they say. All we're trying to say right here is just speak a little bit more, with intent, and just be a bit more confident with yourself, which leads us into our next topic here. The next bullet point on the list is just be professional, speak professionally. You need to remember that, guys, that you're trying to enter a business relationship. I see this all the time, especially with galleries. Either you have, an artist trying to approach a gallery, and they try to like pretend like pull it off that they're cool, or the gallery is a little too buddy right off the bat, and they're calling you bro and stuff. And I've always been under the idea that it's a business relationship and you should treat it as such and you should speak as such. What do you think, Patrick?
100% agree. It's a profession, right? Just like anything else. Hopefully it's a profession where you're not working for the man, but a lot of gallery. That's what in my place, what they used to call it for is like, I work for the man.
Is that the 70s? What was that? That's such an old phrase. Sorry.
I know, but I guess I was born in the 70s, but no. But where I'm going with it is, yes, it is professional. It is a career. It is a profession, and you want to make sure that you're setting the right tone. And if you go into too casual, you're almost setting yourself up to lose some negotiating power too, in a way.
Oh, absolutely. They think that you're friendly right off the bat. They're not that they will take advantage of you, but it's very easy to take advantage of you. I just had this conversation over the weekend with an artist where they're just so buddy with everybody. And I'm like, if I wanted to, you're the guy I would take advantage of, because like, you're just so nice and you just want to please everybody all the time. And that's the kind of people that galleries take advantage of. Not that they all do, but it's easier when you're just so nice, and such a pushover.
Yeah. And it's like we said, it comes down to, this is how you're going to make your living. This is how you're going to pay your bills. It's how they make a living, how they pay their bills. It's not the person you're going to hang out with every weekend. So there's no need to go there. I mean, don't be adversarial, but I mean, you guys are a team. So really keep it professional, keep the terms where you need to be, and it'll all be good.
Totally. And one other thing, if at this point you're emailing a gallery trying to show work with them, or you call them, whatever, and if you don't hear back, one thing you don't want to do is, this is if you don't hear back anything, you don't want to follow up too much. I think a good rule of thumb, especially when I was starting out, I had my big list of galleries I wanted to work with, and I would reach out every 6 months. I think that's a big enough break where, okay, you reached out. They're busy, but they probably clicked on something you sent them and saw something in their head. They're like, no, for whatever reason said no, whatever. So I would always wait 6 months, because what that means is by the time I reach out again, they're not like this guy again. They're like, oh yeah. And then that's enough time where I've done something new. Either I've created a new body of work, or I showed a gallery show somewhere else. And when I reach back out this time, I have new information. Hey, just reaching out again since the last time we've spoken, or I've reached out, I've done this, I've accomplished this. And it gives them a reason to, oh, look, this person is elevating their career. They're moving forward. Like, you don't just want to poke like every month. You just come off as needy, especially if they don't want to work with you. It's really going to put a bad taste in their mouth about you.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would be even more strategic about that. 6 months is good. It could even be, let's put it this way, no quicker than every 6 months. Every 6 months. Yeah. And if you haven't done anything tangible in that 6 months, don't reach out again.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, if you're going to email them and show them the exact same work, you haven't made anything new, don't even bother. Like,
yes, you have to be
waste.
Working on your craft, moving forward, doing something. And ideally, it's not just new work. It's work. It's a show that you put on yourself, a group show where you were in, a print drop you did, something that shows that you're generating revenue making art, making it relevant. And another way to look at it, and this applies to anybody, is think of it almost like a relationship where if you're too needy, too hungry, you kind of push people away.
Totally.
And if you treat your career that way, and if you look at it, oh, they didn't respond, you don't let it get you down and you just plow forward, you might not need to reach out to them. If you start making things happen, they're going to come to you.
Totally.
So that's the mentality I would go in. And if you do engage, again, professional, not like arrogant, but just be confident in yourself.
Yeah. It's a learned skill. I mean, I'm a very shy person in real life, but I can turn it on because I learned how to do it. I mean, anybody can.
Yeah, I'm identical.
Let's move forward. We don't want to make this too long. The next bullet point is, just know the gallery or the dealer, whoever, know their submission guidelines. every person wants to be contacted a different way. Some galleries want you to call them. Some only accept walk-ins. Some only accept emails. They have a submission form. It's really important that you follow the rules. You know, like if the gallery you want to work with, they very clearly say on their website, email here to submit, and you do something else, that already proves to them that you can't follow direction, that you're just not professional. So it's really important to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I would break this down into two things. One is read their guidelines and how they want you to submit. And ideally, they tell you what they want you to submit.
Yeah.
If they don't tell you what to submit, make it a professional package, right? And this is something that maybe we dive into deeper, but at a high level, you'd probably want a little bit about you. I'd actually do a nice picture of myself, even if it's in front of the art. I would do pictures of new art and some sort of show history or progress history. If you have socials, I put handles and links to the socials.
Yeah.
If you could make it an interactive portfolio, something they can click on rather than have to go type it in, that'd help too.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say something?
I had thought of something to say, is that this has happened to me where I will ask a young artist to send me, their portfolio or something. And this is something you don't want to do, guys. Don't email like a 35 megabyte file to somebody. Like there's been so many times when I'm just out on a walk or at a restaurant and I want to look at something on my phone, and the person I want to work with sends me this huge file. I'm just like, God, I can't download this. Like, what are you doing? Why send this? Like, make sure you have an online portfolio or something, and if you're going to send a PDF or something small. One other thing I wanted to bring up, Patrick, is, obviously we're talking about the correct way to submit, but one little sneaky circumnavigate thing here is I've done this in the past. I want to work with a company and I can't find a submission guideline, clear on their website. So I'll go on LinkedIn, like, okay, who works at this company? Okay, Sarah works there, Jessica works there, Pat works there, whoever. Oh, my friend Michael, the artist, knows Sarah. Hey, Michael, what's up? What's up with this company? Just the point I'm getting at here is that so many more doors have opened in my professional life because I knew somebody that knew somebody. You know what I mean? And obviously that's not going to work for everybody, but if you're in a small town, you might not know the gallery owners or the directors there, but maybe someone does know them. And that's a little bit of asking for help from that person to kind of have an introduction could go a long way for you.
Yeah. Warm introductions are key. And it also goes back to what you said before, which is building that community, your group of friends, helping each other out. Totally. A lot of people, and don't be afraid to ask, because worst thing they're going to say is no, and you're exactly where you were.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that's going to happen.
Yeah. The other thing that I think we probably should say, and this goes to that professional side of things, is when you do reach out to somebody and they say, send me something, don't say, oh, I need to take pictures, I need to put something together. Have your ducks in a row before you go here. Because if somebody asks you for something, especially when it's related to your career, whether it's art, samples of work, photos, the list of the shows you've been in, if you don't have that stuff ready, it's going to make you look real unprofessional, and you're probably gone immediately.
Or do something I did early in my career, lie to them, and then stay up all night getting the thing ready. They say, hey, can you send me the video? I would say, yeah, no problem. I'll have it to you tomorrow. I have no clue how to make the video, but I would figure it out. You're right. Like what Pat said, don't say, oh, let me get this all done for you. Just say, yeah. Because obviously I was pitching for things that I wanted. So I knew what they wanted, but I didn't know how to do it at the time. But just do it. I don't know how to more eloquent way to say it than that.
Yeah. Definitely just either be prepared or say yes and figure it out. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's another thing, man, is so many young artists, they'll want to work with me for something. And I will say, okay, give me X. And they'll write back, well, how do I do that? It's like, no one hires me to make them a painting, and I email them and say, well, how do I make this color? How do I make a canvas? Like, get your shit together before you reach out to these people. Like, figure out the thing that they're going to want. Like, I don't want to hire someone to hold their hand. You know what I mean? I'm sure like no company does. No gallery wants A gallery wants to know you're already making work. A gallery wants to know that you already know how to sell your work and promote your work and take good photos of it. Like these are all things you need to do. It all goes into being professional, which we already talked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Next bullet point. This is one I actually struggle with in my own personal life is patience is key. Be patient. And we're just, obviously what we're talking about here is, if you email somebody, they don't get back to you immediately or whatever, they say, we're going to review your work, give them some time. You don't want to be too persistent and just like message them every day. Hey, what's up? I'm just checking back in. Like, it's just too much.
Yeah. And you can turn this, and it's something I've had to learn because I've got zero patience, is don't have patience in your hunger and fill that need for that urgency by developing yourself. So I take it, if I'm not getting the feedback I want, that I need to work on myself, work on my, if it was art, work on my art, work on whatever. And I focus my energy on that so that that lack of response doesn't drive me crazy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Send those emails, and while you're waiting, go do something else, go get better. So that when they do reach out, you're like, oh yeah, since we spoke, I've done this, look at this, or whatever.
Yeah. And there's enough galleries out there that you can be doing the outreach enough that it gives you the time to be patient with the ones that aren't responding. And if they're not responding, it means you got to work on something.
Totally. Yep.
Which probably opens up a quick plug for us, which is, if you're in that state and you're confused, write us a question, because it might be something we can dive deeper into to have a conversation about.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can email us on our website, cleanbreakpodcast.com, or just go on our Instagram, Clean Break Podcast, to do that. Let's move forward. The next bullet point here is to be open to feedback. So what this means is, artists XYZ, they email the gallery and say, we want to work together. Sometimes if you're lucky enough, though, obviously if you're super lucky, they'll say, yeah, let's work together. But if you're less lucky, but still lucky, they'll write back and say, I like your work, but I don't want to work with you just yet. I really think, you need to take better photos of your work, or you need to improve your color match, whatever. The point is be open to feedback. Like, these people, they're businesses at the end of the day. I think a lot of artists forget that. Like, you're entering a business relationship. They obviously want to sell your work. So the advice they're giving you is, in their mind, trying to help you sell your work. So don't take it personally. If a gallery or whoever responds and gives you, I don't like this or whatever, they're not attacking you. They're not saying you're a piece of crap. They're giving you constructive criticism, and just thank them and take it professionally and take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, nobody's going to give you, nobody you're reaching out to in a professional environment's going to give you negative feedback to be a dick. No way.
No, that's true. Absolutely. I don't even know what else to say about that. What else is there?
Yeah, the only thing I might do there, and it's so unrelated to this, but if they show an interest and they just say it's not right for a show, we did talk about this, like, try to submit for group shows or smaller things rather than, right, sometimes you have to build up to.
Oh yeah, I think just writing them and saying, I am interested in working with you, period, and let them kind of dictate. Because you're right, Pat, a lot of galleries, they'll want you to do a group show before they give you a full-blown show, just to see if they can sell your work. And I've done that in the past too. When a gallery wants to work with me, like, I want 10 paintings, I'll say, no, you get 2, because I don't know what you're going to do with these things. I don't know how you're going to talk about me. I don't know who you're going to sell them to. We both need to fill each other out. So they're probably going to do a group show first. So just let them tell you what they want. I would like to work with you, period, and send that.
Yep.
Moving forward, the next bulleted topic here is to be clear about your terms. So this obviously, you reach out to the gallery, the dealer, whoever, and they say, okay, we are interested in representing your work. So I think this is a really good time where a lot of artists, if they're young, they're so excited, they say, great, and they just whatever. They don't really go over this stuff. And this is really important right now. You need to have a clear conversation and a written agreement about your terms. Terms are things like your pricing, what happens if they get you a commission, if they want to do an exhibition, how many pieces. And it's good for you to have this written down in like a contract. You don't need to go run out and get a lawyer to do a contract for you, but just a written document that says, okay, I'm going to work with you from July to September. I'm giving you 4 paintings. You're going to pay me this. This is all written down, and there's no guesswork. What do you think, Pat?
I totally agree. And we have a tip online that's called the Statement of Understanding. So if you don't know all the questions to ask, which I would guess that most artists don't, read this document. It has 20, 30 tips. They're broken up into categories. It might even spark other questions you need to ask. But I would definitely go down that. I would also keep an early relationship focused on that show. Don't walk into 4 or 5 until you've gone through 1, 2 to see where you are.
Totally. Yeah. There's so many things that can happen between the first show and the 5th show. You don't want to agree too much off the bat. I know it's exciting, especially when you're starting out and you're making no money. This was me. I would just say yes to things, and I got taken advantage of so often. And it wasn't until I started speaking directly and asking questions, people started taking it more serious. And these galleries will do the same thing to you. I think a lot of young artists are so afraid to say no or to like question anything. They're afraid they're going to lose the opportunity. And that's not the case. Like the gallery's going to say, oh, this person is professional, takes himself seriously. And they'll work with you, and you'll come to a positive resolution for both of you, which Pat, goes into our last topic, which is just maintain a positive relationship, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even if they turn you down, it's crucial to just have a positive relationship with them, because you don't want to write back, well, fine, whatever, because the art world's so small. You badmouth, okay, the gallery turns you down. So then you hop on your Twitter, you're like, F this gallery, I don't want to work with them anyway. You don't know who's reading that. There could be another gallery that follows you that's like, well, if this is how they talk about people, I don't want to work with them.
Well, similar to that, but slightly different is you don't know who they know. And most of those gallery directors know the other gallery directors.
Yeah,
and
totally.
You can, if you piss them off, next time they're at a party or something, they'll talk about that artist and what they did, or and you don't want to get blacklisted.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's true. It's a small world. No matter what they say no. They say maybe later, whatever. Just thank them for their time, and just be professional. Next time you reach out, be nice. Don't be a pushover, obviously, but you're just being professional. Thank you so much for looking over my work. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can touch base in the future. And then you wait to 6 months. Hey, it's been a while, and then look what I've done since then. Just be professional. Like, this is a business. You're not emailing. You're not trying to go on a date. You're not emailing your friends. Like, this is a professional thing. That's about it, Patrick. I think we went over all the topics here. What do you think? This is our first video podcast with just you and I.
It's fun, interesting, different, right? We're so, especially me, because I probably have gained 30 pounds on the camera.
It's so funny. I won't point fingers or name names, but we've only done a very few episodes so far, video, and the guests were like, "Oh, I look so big."
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
Same thing happens when I send the audio, like, "Oh, my voice sounds weird." Like, no, it doesn't. This is actually the first time you and I have ever seen each other. I didn't know what you looked like until right now.
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
I'm unplugging the TV show too.
All right, Pat, I think we can end this one. Let's hang up. I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
All right, sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you have questions or opinions about what we talked about on this episode. Maybe you have your own questions about your art career, or just looking for some advice. Shoot us an email and we'll answer your questions on a future episode. You can email us directly on our website, cleanbreakpodcast.com. And just a reminder that all our past episodes are available there, as well as a ton of free resources, guides, and tips on how to make more money with your art and get more people interested. This podcast is produced by Elijah Walsh, theme song by Ditch David, additional research by Ikram Dadar. I want to thank Patrick, Jason, and the Always Art team. My name is Matt Gondek. I'll crash you next time.